artists, happy Tuesday. I hope your week is going off really well. Make sure you're getting all of your work done and submitted to your teachers because you are so close to summer. Get it all done. It's due next Monday at the latest. Get it all done now so you don't have to worry about it anymore and you can kind of start relaxing and getting into that summer mood. I am doing things a little bit differently this week. I am taking you through portfolios of my artwork. So yesterday we talked about my middle school art and I reminded you I've been doing art since I was in kindergarten just like you. Now I did get to do some art when I was younger at home, but most of the time, we start really making art when we go to school. Now, you're very lucky because not everybody gets to have art in elementary school. Some people don't get to have art until they go to middle school, but you are incredibly lucky, okay? I want you to remember that anytime you're starting to feel really stressed out or anxious or angry about something, just remember how lucky you are. Count your blessings because you are incredibly, incredibly blessed. We are going to continue going through some of my portfolios of work, and I want you to realize that I'm weird. I think most of you know that already, but I want you to understand that my artwork is weird. It doesn't always make sense. Some people think it's totally off the wall, and that's okay. All right? Being weird is actually really awesome because if we were all exactly the same, how boring would the world be, right? If we all looked exactly the same, if we all dressed exactly the same, if we all enjoyed the same things, it would be weird. Okay? So, we talked about middle school art, and I want to start taking you into some high school art that I did. Now, between middle school and high school, one day during the summer, I was working a garage sale with my family, and you know Texas summers, they get really, really hot. So I decided that I was going to make a painting. And here's the painting that I came up with. It was so hot that day. I mean, it was probably close to 110 and, you know, you're outside. And don't ask me where this idea came from because I don't know, but it is known as the lips. And anybody who knows me personally knows the lip painting. This really kind of started my style and the messages that I put into my art, and it kind of sparked everything for me, okay? So your art does not have to be perfect. This is so not perfect, but it makes a statement. It's very bold, and I actually had a lady, when I took it outside to show my mom at the garage sale, I actually had a lady say, "How much is that? I'll buy it." And the thing was, it was still wet, and I didn't want to let go of it. I have a hard time letting go of my art, but I need to be more comfortable with letting it go and letting people adopt it into their lives. But this really kind of started art for me personally. Okay. We're going to talk about 9th grade and 10th grade kind of at the same time. I think we might do 2 videos of this, so we'll see. So in 9th grade, I had an amazing, amazing art teacher, but I will tell you there were some things that she did that I didn't understand. I didn't like it. There are some things that she did that I didn't appreciate. One of those is writing in red pen on my artwork. Now, quite frankly, for not really having any drawing lessons or being taught how to draw, these are some beads. They're sitting on a table, and I think they look quite nice. Like, really. Not much practice. Never really taught how to draw. That was good. Again, drawing on or writing on my paper in red ink. So, when I taught high school and now teaching elementary school, I do not write on your artwork. In high school, when I would grade papers, I might write a number on the back of your paper or your canvas or something, but most of the time I would not write on your artwork at all. That means that you cannot go back, you cannot change it, you cannot add to it or do anything with it. It kind of just halts the process, and I do not appreciate that. at all. And I've had several art teachers just write on the front of my work, and that's not okay. So if you are a former student watching this, you know what I mean when I say I don't write on your artwork on the front. Here's another example. These are just drawing exercises we did. These were warm-ups that we did at the beginning of class. And when I was in art in my freshman year in high school, we had an hour and a half for class. We had block schedule, which meant that we had 4 classes on A day, and we had 4 classes on B day. And we were in class for about an hour and a half, except for when we had lunches. Those were a little bit longer. I think they were about 2 hours long, just so that everybody could get to lunch. And so we had lots of time. We had plenty of time in the mornings to come in, or at the beginning of class, to come in and do warm-ups. Okay, here's another one. I think actually it goes, I don't know how it goes. That's the beauty of this, is it can move around. So this is another warm-up. These are just cut paper. So sometimes we'd have a drawing, sometimes we'd have cut paper, and you would have a prompt on the board, you know, create blah, blah, blah. Something with lines. Something with circles. And I don't know about you, but that one at the top, that black and white one with the little dot in the middle, looks like an olive. I like olives, so that's a good thing. Complementary colors. Okay, colors that are across from each other on the color wheel, those are complementary colors. And, you know, create something with lines. Create something with squares. This looks like a garden pathway to me. Okay, at first I didn't really understand why we were doing things like this, but it really did teach me a lot about art and design and elements and principles of art. And once you learn the rules, you can start breaking the rules effectively. But I will say I spent a lot of time not liking what we were doing, but then I really understand why we did. Okay, here is actually something that we did. I believe this was our fall final exam. So we had to draw ourselves, and we put our initials on it, and we had to find a word for every letter of our name, and it was pretty cool. I wish I had done something like that for exams when I taught high school, but I tried to get as many of my students exempt as possible, and the ones that were not exempt, I tried to give them something fairly easy to do, and I graded really easy. If you ever took an exam for me, you should know that. We're going to keep going just a little bit because we are going to break this into 2 parts, but I want to talk about something else, kind of basics that we did with high school art. I'm going to move from freshman year to sophomore year art 2, pre-AP art 2. We did a lot with still lifes. And I understand the point of still lifes. I mean, you know, to learn how to draw something that's sitting there right in front of you. But I will tell you, I do not like still lifes. I don't. Because no matter what it looks like on day 1, no matter what it looks like on day 1, you can come in and day 2, things will have shifted around and things won't be exactly right anymore. So these are actually the exact same thing. I don't know if you've noticed that. They're the exact same picture, one drawing, one with paper. And in a way, they look completely different to me. And actually, if you notice right here where these shadows are, I actually did them with lighter color paper over here. It's kind of weird. But again, something that I understand the reason behind doing still lifes, I just don't like doing still lifes. So we're going to end today's video right there, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about some more of my artwork that I did in 9th and 10th grade art. All right, that's all for today. Remember, art is life.